one of the major factors driving hunger in Ethiopia has been the security situation, not just in Tigray, but in other states like Amhara, the country's second biggest province. Amhara is under a state of emergency, with the military clashing with the so-called Fano armed groups. The US and the EU have called for investigations into the recently reported killings of at least 45 civilians there. Earlier, I discussed this with Robel Alemu of the advocacy group, the Amhara Association of America, and got his views on the conflict.
The conflict in Ethiopia's Amhara region is one of the world's deadliest conflicts, unfolding under network blackout. The Amhara region has actually been under state of emergency since last August and under siege since last April. And we at the Amhara Association of America have actually witnessed a pattern of impunity which has claimed tens of thousands of lives. Since the start of the war, AAA has recorded attacks on civilian targets, including schools, hospitals, sites of worship, using heavy artillery and drones. And so what this has led to has actually been devastation, including civilian massacres, ethnic cleansing, profiling and mass arrests in concentration camps, rape as a weapon of war, weaponized hunger, collective punishment tactics, attacks on the free press and civil society, incitements of hatred and violence, including by government officials. And most recently, we have actually seen Amhara civilians who escaped massacres in Western Oromia region to Amhara region being forcibly displaced and relocated back to Western Oromia, where they face imminent danger from state and non-state armed groups, such as the Oromo Liberation Army and Oromia Regional Special Forces.
Okay. I mean, you're using a lot of strong words there. You use ethnic cleansing. I'm assuming these are investigations that are ongoing before it can be proven or not. But you talk about the fighting. It's mainly between the military and the so-called Fano, self-defense militia. Who are they and what are they fighting for?
Yes, thank you. The Amhara Fano are actually one of the most misunderstood armed groups by international analysts and observers. Firstly, on a fundamental level, Fanoism is a cultural practice of the Amhara people of taking up arms in self-defense during times of foreign invasion. And this practice dates back many centuries. But the modern Fano armed insurgency is a manifestation of decades of genocide, subjugation, and repression under consecutive authoritarian regimes, from the Oromo Prosperity Party that's currently ruling, back to the Tigray People's Liberation Front and the communist Derg junta before them. So it's important to understand currently, the Abiy regime is the aggressor that rejected calls for peaceful reform during peaceful protests and instead declared war on the Amhara people. And so the Fano are exercising the right to self-defense with their own private arms without the backing of any foreign state, whereas Abiy is receiving budgetary support and weapons from various international patrons. So the Fano currently have effective control. Sorry.
No, didn't mean to catch you. I was just trying to draw your attention again. Very strong words. You mentioned the word genocide. Again, these are not words we can officially say is what is happening on the ground, but investigations are still ongoing. Just to try to wrap up here, at the end of the day, this is a fighting that's been going on for a while. We want it to end. What do you think needs to be done to end the ongoing conflict?
Certainly. I think there's been a cycle of impunity in Ethiopia. And so the structural causes of this conflict and violence need to be addressed. And I think the people no longer have an appetite for cosmetic change. They want fundamental change. And that starts with removing the immediate cause of the problems, which is Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and his Prosperity Party. And so I think there's several actions that the international community can take, including targeted sanctions against government officials and military leaders implicated in atrocities. The UN can potentially impose a no-fly zone in Amhara region to mitigate the civilian attacks using drones. Humanitarian agencies can send emergency assistance in order to reach millions in need. And then we need justice and accountability, which are key. And these include independent investigations into the Amhara genocide, which are needed through an international mechanism. And as we have seen just weeks before, there was a very large-scale massacre in a town called Merawi, which prompted outcry from the international community, which was very promising. But we need more of this because these atrocities continue to happen and more innocent people continue to die on a daily basis.
Okay. Robel Alemu, Director of Communications with the Amhara Association of America. Thank you.